Welcome in, everybody, to the 423 Football Podcast. We are back again to give you our Week 11 preview show. We'll go through the matchups. We'll give you starts and sits at the very end. If you haven't already, check out our Week 10 recap show. Got a lot of good things over there. Our waiver wire, some handcuffs, all the good stuff you'll need to possibly pull out a fantasy championship. So, I'm your host, Brandon Bouchard, joined here again by Brett Hamilton.
Hello!
And what are we drinking today, Brett?
Well, we are returning to an old favorite, the Shiner Holiday Cheer.
It's so good.
One of the best beers I've had all year.
It's so good.
It is peach, but it's not overpowering peach.
It's peachy keen.
Yes, it is. I would describe it as peachy keen. It is brewed in Shiner, Texas, and it is delicious. If you're into Christmas beers, you have to check this one out.
Delicious. And again, we do not take money from these people. We just like drinking their beer.
Nope, but they make good beer.
They make fantastic beer. Okay. Week 11 matchups preview. Only 4 teams on bye this week. We got the Colts, Jets, 49ers, and Panthers. So
it's a pretty good bye week.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
out of those teams, besides the Panthers right now.
Yeah, there's not really that many prolific players.
Are you really sad about not starting any of your Jets or 49ers?
I'm thrilled to not have to.
You don't have to make that choice anymore.
No. So anyway, first matchup of the week: Titans and Steelers on Thursday Night Football. Important game for playoff implications between two very dynamic teams and teams that are playing pretty well right now.
Yep.
Titans a bit banged up, but I fully expect Mariota and Delaney Walker to play. DeMarco Murray, I think he's the clear favorite. Like I think we gotta stop hinting at the Derrick Henry thing.
Yeah. Until
DeMarco Murray is just either like hurt for a significant amount of time or just completely gone from the team.
Yeah.
I think it's just not a good guessing game at this point. DeMarco's the lead guy. He's going to get he's going to get the majority of the goal line work. I think he had 3 touchdowns last week. I don't even think we mentioned him in the standouts, but we probably should have.
That doesn't mean I think any less of Derrick Henry, though.
Oh, no. It's just the opportunity, and they love DeMarco Murray.
He's a veteran player. He's done really well. He had a really good game this past week.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, obviously, if he's still out there on your waiver wire and you are a DeMarco Murray owner.
Oh, yeah. You can.
That's the best handcuff.
That really is the best handcuff.
That's not even a question. All right, seemingly tough matchup for the Titans pass catchers. Steelers have been pretty tough against the pass catchers, but I don't know. Are you still liking Corey Davis the most? I still think I like Rashard Matthews and Delaney Walker, just from a safer point of view.
Oh, yeah. From a safer point of view, I think Delaney Walker is about as safe as you can get. I still like Corey Davis going forward. I think he's getting involved. He missed he missed a lot of weeks due to an injury he took in the first week of this year. I still like him the most going forward, but Delaney Walker is definitely the go-to for Mariota.
Yeah. If you're in a dynasty league and people are kind of scared off by what Corey Davis has done so far, which is pretty much nothing, definitely go try and get him because I think he's going to be dynamic for a long, long time in this league.
Yeah.
All right. Steelers side of the ball. Obviously, you're starting Le'Veon. You're starting Antonio Brown, despite his weak performance last week.
Disappointing.
Juju Smith-Schuster, I do want to say he is the clear, without a doubt, number 2 in that offense.
Yeah.
He's getting looks every single week. Yep. Big Ben's looking at him around the goal line, which is probably part of the reason why Antonio Brown's not getting the touchdowns like we've seen.
Yeah.
But Juju, man, fun to watch.
He is. He's just really enjoyable to watch. But he's getting the targets every week. I had some doubts going in, like after he had a couple of big weeks. I was like, he can't really sustain that. I mean, it's still Martavis Bryant and Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, but now Juju is right up there.
Are you Martavis he got I think like 50 yards this past game. Are you willing to like hold on just somewhat? I mean, if you have a roster spot. I'm obviously if I have Juju or Antonio, I'm not really bothering with him.
No.
But Martavis, he did get into the offense a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, A little bit.
I mean, I still think they can easily use him as just
they can
run straight down the field guy.
They can, but will they? I mean, I don't know. It may be worth it, but I'm just afraid that you're not going to start him because he's not reliable at this point. You're going to miss his one big week, and then that's all you're going to get out of him.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, I got the Titans winning this one close. I think it's going to be close, though.
I actually think it's the Steelers at home. Yep.
All right. Ravens and Packers.
Oh, by the way,
yes.
Speaking of pick'ems, did you see this last week?
Was it bad?
I wiped the floor.
That's what
I only missed 2 games.
I thought I had an okay week, and then I saw it. I looked it up just a few minutes ago, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
I missed 2, and you missed 5.
That 5 isn't bad.
It's not bad, but I'm ahead by 190 points now.
I gotta. I haven't gained ground in weeks. It's not good. Anyway. I got to make some contrarian picks here. Mm-hmm. All right, Ravens and Packers. Another important game for both teams trying to stay in the playoff hunt. No Aaron Jones for the Packers for a few weeks. He's dealing with an MCL injury. Ty Montgomery is dealing with a rib injury. We're going to have to monitor that. Jamal Williams, is he worth starting this week? I know it's going to be a tough matchup against a stout Ravens run D.
I think he is, yeah. I think he gets in there, especially if Ty Montgomery is ruled out. Even if Ty Montgomery is not ruled out, I still think I'm willing to play Jamal Williams. I think he's going to get in. If with Aaron Jones and Ty Montgomery out, you have to expect him to get 17 touches.
Yeah, at least because there's really.
Also, I know it's early, but the weather forecast for that weekend in Green Bay does not look favorable. So maybe a lot of runs.
Yeah. The weather was bad last week, and Hundley still he had a decent passing game. But I do want to say Jamal Williams is, if Montgomery's out, it's Jamal Williams, it's Aaron Ripkowski. That's the 2 running backs. Devontae Mays, their 4th string running back. He's been hurt for a while now.
What about Randall Cobb?
That I was about to mention. I was about to say the Packers pass catchers. Obviously, Devontae Adams, we talked about him earlier. He's definitely a good start. Not a wide receiver 1, but he's getting looks. Jordy Nelson, it's really tough to start, especially
in a tough matchup.
Yeah, tough matchup. He hasn't been getting the looks.
I kind of liken him to T.Y. Hilton now. T.Y. Hilton's kind of you're confident playing him in a favorable matchup, but other than that, it's kind of. If you have better options, you may want to put him in.
Yeah. Randall Cobb, as you mentioned, I think if Montgomery's out, Randall Cobb is going to get a ton of backfield carries.
Define ton. What would you expect?
7 to 8.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot for
a wide receiver.
Yeah, for a wide receiver. But
and some of those are going to be screen passes. Some
yeah.
It's going to be a little dump offs.
But Randall Cobb's been getting a lot of looks with Brett Hundley in the offense, a lot of underneath stuff. So, I do like Randall Cobb, especially in PPR.
Yeah, me too.
Last bit of thing from the Packers, Brett Hundley, he is dealing with a hamstring injury. We're going to have to monitor that. I think he'll be fine, but we'll keep an eye. Ravens, obviously, I mentioned that before. Ravens a tough defense to go against, so kind of temper your expectation with all these Packer guys. Danny Woodhead could be back this week. We mentioned in our last episode, Buck Allen's pretty much. I think you can part ways almost with him if Danny Woodhead is back to full form. Obviously, wait a week.
See what happens.
See how it goes. Jerry Maclin, he's had back-to-back double-digit games before the bye. Do you really have any faith starting him though?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I think you've seen him. He's always been a decent wide receiver, but now that he's getting the looks and getting the opportunity, I don't see any reason for them to shy away from him. He's looked good on film. The catches he's made they haven't all been like blown coverages and just really wide open. I think that they're going to continue to rely on him, and I think you could do a lot worse if you're thinking about starting him.
Yeah, Ravens really haven't produced that many fantasy relevant players so far this year. It's not really fun starting any Ravens, but it's a decent matchup against a very inconsistent Packers defense.
Yep.
Got the Packers.
I got the Packers at home.
Heck yeah, Lambeau baby.
Yeah,
keep it
believe
there. Yeah. All right, Lions and Bears, divisional game in which anything's possible. Oh, I expect a
it's going to be a good game.
I expect a high-scoring game, actually. I think the Bears are going to actually be able to put up some points. Obviously, we saw the Browns even put up some points on the Lions last week. Amir Abdullah, he's had a double-digit touch game in every game this year and has back-to-back games with a touchdown. I still don't like the situation. I don't really like him as a player.
I keep saying that too, but he keeps producing
while
I'm saying that.
and Dwayne Washington really isn't getting anything.
No,
Theo
nothing.
Riddick isn't near what we saw him do last year. So Amir Abdullah, I mean,
if you don't roll him out,
if you don't have a better option, So
I think he's a perfectly fine flex play. I'm not putting him in as running back 2 or anything like that.
Yeah. All right, Golden Tate, clearly the wide receiver to own over Marvin Jones. I think those two are pretty much the only pass catchers. Maybe Eric Ebron if you're struggling at tight end to own. Jordan Howard on the Bears side of the ball looks to bounce back from a disappointing performance in Week 10.
Yeah, he had a rough week.
Yeah.
He's been so up and down this year.
He has.
It's painful for fantasy owners.
I still don't think he's that great of a running back, but they give him plenty of work. Tariq Cohen's not getting anything now.
No,
Speaking of, Tariq Cohen you can drop if you still hold on to them.
If you haven't dropped him after actually, I think I still held on to him in my ESPN league because I am really short on running backs, but no, I'll be dropping him.
Yeah. And just a few more players to mention on the Bears side of the ball. Adam Shaheen, obviously Zach Miller's going to be out for possibly his career, honestly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Probably.
But Adam Shaheen, I think he's slowly getting into the offense more and more. Trubisky kind of likes his tight ends. Mm-hmm. And then Dontrell Inman, we saw him get 8 targets last week. I kind of feel like, because he's the bigger receiver, he's going to be on the outside. I feel like he's going to go up against Darius Slay, so not the best matchup here.
Well, we know what Darius Slay does.
All he does is slay. All right, I have the Lions winning this one.
I have the Lions, too. I was thinking about this. In an actual matchup versus a Lion and a Bear.
Oh, my gosh.
What would win?
Oh, that'd be tough.
I know. It's a good matchup.
I'm going with the kitty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going with the cat because of the quickness, but if that bear gets in one swipe...
What kind of a bear? There's a lot of different bears. What kind of a bear are the bears? They're just like a brown bear, probably.
Yeah, they're probably like one of the...
We're not talking about like a polar bear or like a
grizzly.
Or a koala.
They're probably a grizzly bear, honestly. If it's a brown bear.
They're the koala bears.
Okay. If it's a koala bear, I'm taking the lion.
Anyway, Jags and Browns. Browns still looking for that first win. I don't even know if they want it anymore. Although they look to be improving. They don't have a favorable matchup here against Jacksonville.
No.
Leonard Fournette, speaking of bounce back candidates, looking to bounce back from that first game without a touchdown.
33 yards. He's becoming a fantasy roller coaster.
No, I don't know about that. He just got hurt and then he came back and then they didn't really need him in that game that much.
Well, I mean, like 3 weeks though. I mean, if you're a fantasy owner holding on to Fournette, he hasn't played in 3 weeks.
Obviously,
I mean, he technically has played in the last week, but he pretty much didn't play in 3 weeks.
Yeah, understandable.
He missed 2 weeks and then came back and put up 3.3 yards or 3.3 points.
I mean, I'm not worried about him.
No,
whatsoever.
no, absolutely not.
Yeah. The Browns' defense has been pretty tough against running backs, but still, you're rolling them out there. Marquise Lee, the clear wide receiver to own in Jacksonville, I think he has a pretty big week this week. D.D. Westbrook is expected to make his debut this week, so I think it's. I've been talking about him as a flyer. I think he actually has a pretty good week this week, especially Allen Hurns is probably going to miss multiple weeks with an ankle injury. So I really, really like D.D. Westbrook.
I think it takes more away from Allen Hurns than it takes away from Marquise Lee, though. Marquise Lee's so consistent.
I know. Marquise Lee's still the go-to guy, but I really, really like D.D. Westbrook.
If you need a flyer, I can see it.
Yeah. Corey Coleman on the Browns side of the ball, he's also expected back this game. He might go up against Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if he'll be more on him or more on Kenny Britt, but either way, it's not a good matchup.
No.
You're going to have either Jalen Ramsey on one side or A.J. Boye on the other.
Yeah.
It's not going to be fun for any of these Browns this week.
I mean, I would say Corey Coleman's on my pickup radar off the waiver wire, but I don't feel confident about this week.
Yeah. I don't really like Deshaun Kaiser this week either. Not really Browns in general. I do want to mention...
what games do you like Deshaun Kaiser in?
I mean, he's shown even when he can run the ball. And, I mean, he had 20 points this past week, and that was against the Lions. The Lions don't have that terrible of a defense. This is definitely not a good one. But, I mean, if they're playing the Bengals, I could see maybe rolling them out there. I mean, that's a divisional game, so that's just the first one to pop in my head.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I don't know. He
just does. He
just
turns the ball over too much.
I should say not in a one quarterback league. Definitely not.
Oh,
in two quarterbacks leagues, I can
see it.
I do want to mention Isaiah Crowell. I'm not starting him this week because I still don't like. I just don't think the Browns are going to do anything.
No, he had another good week though.
Yeah, but Isaiah Crowell. He's actually the number 12 running back in fantasy since week 6, and that includes a bye week.
Yep.
So he is getting things together. They're actually running him more. Duke Johnson has disappeared. We haven't seen him.
I don't know that he even plays for that team anymore.
Probably not. But aside from all that, Jags are a must-start defense this week. I think they're going to have their way with them. I got the Jags winning this one.
I do have the Jaguars. Browns are still going to be what? 0-9? Have they already had their bye week?
I think they'll be 0-10 if they lose.
0-10.
Yeah, getting that number 1 pick in. All right, Buccaneers, Dolphins. Both teams struggling to get on the right track. Jameis Winston still not likely to play. They even had talks of shutting him down for the year. I don't see that happening yet.
No, I don't think it'll happen. I just don't want them to get in a situation like Andrew Luck's in, though.
Yeah, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick, if they're still kind of struggling, obviously they had a good win last week, very good defensive performance.
Yeah.
But
the defense finally got their act together.
Fitzpatrick's one of the more capable backups in the league.
He is, even though I have voiced my disdain for Ryan Fitzpatrick, but as a backup QB goes, he is one of the better ones.
Yeah. Mike Evans will be back this week.
Super excited about that.
Yeah, I think Fitzpatrick...
He's on a good page with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I really like that. I think Mike Evans has a very, very big week against the Dolphins, who have been struggling pretty much all around.
The Dolphins' defense is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, it is very bad. Deshaun Jackson and Cameron Brate, I expect them to be more involved. I know Mike Evans will be back, but I think they're slowly getting into the...
Cameron Brate had a really odd week. I mean, he had one catch for like 10 yards. That's not common. Even when Fitzpatrick came in that Cardinals game, when Jameis had to come out at the end of the first half and into the second half, he got a lot more looks from Fitzpatrick, so I just thought it was a weird one.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson, though, he's finally getting somewhat going. I still haven't seen that deep shot.
Every slant route, man.
I'm still waiting.
He's open.
I'm still waiting for the deep shot.
I know. But then that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, with those guys getting more involved, and Mike Evans coming back. Sorry, Chris Godwin. It's gonna be a little bit longer before you can.
I was so frustrated because, well, again, a product of Ryan Fitzmagic, he had every opportunity to make Chris Godwin have a really good fantasy week. And he just missed them. Like, at least 3 times I counted on like really good 15-plus passing plays.
It's just that timing issue.
Just missed them. Well, some of them was timing. Some of it was just straight up throwing it out of the back of the end zone for whatever reason.
Yeah. All right, Doug Martin. He got the carries last week.
Bless you.
Thank
that
you.
Came out of nowhere.
I felt it coming, and I tried to stop it, and it was about to hurt. So. Okay, the shiner. The shiner made me sneeze. The peach was too good.
It was too strong. It got up in your nostrils.
Oh, God. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, Doug Martin got the carries last week.
Did nothing with them.
No, but it's promising that he is getting the carries.
Yeah.
This will be a much easier matchup.
I have no doubt that I don't have any quarrel with him going forward.
Yeah, I really like him this week. I still don't. It's kind of testy because I still don't know if they're 100% focused on giving him carries like that. But Jets were a tough matchup, so the fact that they were still able or willing to give him carries in that matchup it's a good sign, and it's more game script than anything because the Bucs were trying to burn some clock.
Yeah, which has not happened in multiple weeks.
Yeah. Dolphins side of the ball. Damian Williams, Kenyon Drake. Damian Williams got the majority of the work, especially early on. Kenyon Drake, we saw him get the huge touchdown late in the game. But who do you like moving forward?
Oh man, the Dolphins are just.
It's not fun to start either. But,
no,
but honestly,
I like Kenyon Drake better.
I like the big play.
I think they're gonna be in negative game scripts more often than not going forward. I don't have any confidence in Adam Gase and how he's running that team. I just think that I think Kenyon Drake deserves more opportunity. Now, Damian Williams got the majority of work, but he didn't look great on the majority of the work. So why not take a shot with Kenyon Drake? He does have the big playability. It's really hard for me to put my faith in any of the Dolphins' offense right now.
Yeah. Speaking of the Dolphins' offense, one more. Jarvis Landry or Devontae Parker. Jarvis Landry's actually got a career high or season tying high of 5 touchdowns already this year, which is kind of surprising. Mm-hmm. Devontae Parker, he's still getting a lot of looks. We still haven't seen him have that breakout game that we've been looking for. But who do you like more?
If I'm banking on like a breakout performance from one of the Dolphins' offensive players, which I don't want to put myself in that position, then I'm just going to go with the safer option, Jarvis Landry.
All right, that's understandable. And Cutler's looking at him just as much as Parker.
Yeah.
So we'll just see how it plays out.
Yep.
I got the Buccaneers winning this one.
Oh, I got the Bucs.
All right, Rams and Vikings. My favorite game of the week by a mile. This is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
Both teams are on fire right now. Potential playoff seeds are on the line here. Two very stout defenses, but there's two very high-scoring offenses as we've seen thus far.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty high-scoring. I don't think the defenses are going to bottle them up too bad.
No.
Is Jared Goff still a viable streamer this week?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's nothing that I've seen that would make me say, nah, I just don't really want to play him.
Yeah, right. That's understandable. Obviously, you're starting Todd Gurley. Rank the pass catchers for the Rams. I think we did this last episode too, but go ahead.
Yeah, Robert Woods would be number 1 for me. The second one's pretty tough, actually.
Well, let me say this. Obviously, okay, we got Robert Woods as number 1, and then either Sammy
We're not counting Todd Gurley, are we?
No.
Okay.
Then we either got Sammy or Cooper Kupp. Now,
so out of those 3?
Yeah, I'm saying, okay, we'll do like a, kind of like a, I'll say, out of those 2, Cooper Kupp, Sammy Watkins, who are you most likely to drop? Because I assume if you get down to the 3rd wide receiver in the Rams, you're probably looking to drop that guy.
This is one of the hardest questions that I've struggled with all season.
Yeah.
Because I can't say drop. For whatever is controlling me on the inside, I can't make the words come out of my mouth that say drop Sammy Watkins.
It's tough.
It just makes me hurt. But I would drop Cooper Kupp. I'll just say that. I just can't say I can't do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Robert Woods is.
Cooper Kupp's been easily as up and down as Sammy Watkins has.
But Cooper Kupp's the possession guy, and we've seen Robert Woods do a lot more of that lately as well. They've been doing a lot with. They've even been doing quite a bit with Tavon Austin, and Todd Gurley's still the focal point of the offense. As much as Jared Goff has been producing,
still the number 1 receiver.
Yeah. All right, on the Vikings side of the ball, Case Keenum will start again. So we're still on board with the Case Keenum train until further notice. Jerick McKinnon, Latavius Murray. I know we talked about them a little bit on the last episode. I'd still rather have McKinnon in PPR, but I'm starting to lean towards Latavius Murray in standard. I think he's going to get the. He's obviously getting goal line, and he's getting the majority of the carries now. So I think they're going to move towards Latavius Murray as their first, second down back, and McKinnon is the 3rd down back.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. It's a slippery slope. It seems like every time I bench Latavius Murray, he has a really good game, and every time I start him, he has a really dud game. So it's
so always start him.
It is not a good game to play for me.
Yeah, obviously out of all these guys, like on both sides of the ball, all the offensive players, it could end. I expect it to be high scoring, but I mean these are two really good defenses, so it could be a low scoring game with the stout defenses, and they could be shut down. But one more position battle. Adam Thielen, I've been saying it for a while now. I want him over Stephon Diggs all the way.
Yeah.
Any matchup, I'd rather have Adam Thielen.
Yep, me too.
I got the Rams winning this one.
I do have the Rams. Yeah, I just think the Rams are just gonna. It's just so hard for teams to stop the Rams on offense. I mean, I know the Vikings have a great defense, but if it ends up turning out to be the high scoring game that we expect, I have every ounce of faith in Sean McVay to pull out the win on offense.
All right, Redskins, Saints. I expect another high-scoring game here. I'm more confident in this one than the previous one. Redskins will be without Rob Kelly. He's done for the year. Samaje Perine, he will get the first work. Expects to get plenty of carries, but is Chris Thompson still the guy to own in that backfield?
Yeah, I still like him over Samaje. But that being said, Samaje is in the top 2 of my waiver wire pickups because of the Rob Kelly news, and I think that he is going to be the 1 and 2 down back. So I like Samaje Perine, but you have a lot more upside with Chris Thompson.
All right, on the another receiver we've been talking about as possibly hoping that he'd break out pretty soon, Josh Doxson. He might be going up against Marshawn Lattimore this game. Definitely not a good situation. Him and Xavier Rhodes were paired up last week, and Doxson did okay. I think he had like 50 yards, but I don't know. I still need to see like that game from Doxson as like the clear wide receiver X, like the clear go-to guy before I can jump on the train of starting him every week.
Yeah, he's definitely not a must start. I still believe in him. I still think that he is going to emerge as the number 1 wide receiver on that team. He's becoming more and more involved. I think that's going to be the way it leans towards the rest of the season. But it's still too early to tell. And this is not a matchup I want to start him in.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins, we saw what he did last week. Saints defense has shut down some offenses in the past few weeks. So do you have any worry starting Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I think that you have to worry. I mean, you have to worry about his lack of weapons. You have to worry about him turning the ball over. You have to worry about the Saints defense just rolling over people the past few weeks. Yeah, I think there's a lot of worry starting Kirk Cousins.
All right, Saints side of the ball. Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, must starts every week.
Both of them.
I'm just for the rest of the way until like an injury or something happens, they're the best 1-2 punch in the league. It's not even a question.
Yep.
Michael Thomas should be fine this week, even with Josh Norman on the field. Norman usually doesn't leave his side of the field. Michael Thomas kind of moves around. He even has a few snaps in the slot. So I expect Michael Thomas to be fine. I got the Saints winning this one.
I also have the Saints.
All right. Chiefs and Giants. Chiefs hope to get back on the right track after the bye, while the Giants are pretty much giving up altogether, honestly. Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, must starts in this game. Alex Smith, I think, is a fine streamer. I expect the Chiefs to pretty much dominate. I do want to go back to Kareem Hunt a little bit. Kareem Hunt we've seen him fall off recently, but I fully expect him to have an incredible second half of the season. And it's going to start right here. Giants are one of the worst defenses in the league. I think they might be the worst defense in the league when it comes to running backs. And Travis Kelce, as I mentioned, I think the Giants have given up 10 straight games, they've given up a touchdown to a tight end. So that's just outrageous. So must start Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, and Alex Smith, I think, is a fine streamer. On the Giants side of the ball, Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram, they are going to receive a ridiculous amount of targets any game. it might not be. Some of these might not be the best matchups, but I still think they're fine plays just because the volume is going to be there. It's going to be just there's no one else to throw to. So
Sterling Shepard has shown that no matter what the game script is, no matter how the game's going, no matter how Eli Manning is playing, he's going to catch the ball and he's going to produce fantasy football points because he is the only wide receiver option.
Yeah, and Orleans Darkwa, you confident playing him here? It's not the Niners back. It's not the Niners matchup. It's a little bit tougher than that. But
no, I don't like Orleans Darkwa this week. I think the Chiefs are going to get up, and they're not going to be able to run the ball, and it's going to be Eli Manning fumbling all over himself trying to throw the ball.
All right, I got the Chiefs winning this one.
Chiefs,
yeah. All right, Cardinals and Texans, two teams trying to overcome crippling injuries. Drew Stanton might not even play this game. I think they just signed Matt Barkley, so
they did. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it can't get much worse for the Cardinals. Will Fuller dealing with a rib injury, might not play as well. We're still waiting on that. It's really not a flattering matchup all around.
I don't like either team.
Yeah, there's not many. Which players on both sides of the ball are you willing to start?
I think you have to start DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, he's got a touchdown with Tom Savage. He's the only one that can consistently produce. You have to roll out Lamar Miller if you're a Lamar Miller owner. There's no one on your bench that you're going to play over him. And I don't think the Cardinals are going to. I don't expect the Cardinals to get up big, and even if they do, Lamar Miller is still involved in the passing game. So I think Lamar Miller is a safe bet in this game. Cardinals side,
only two names come to mind that I consider:
Adrian Peterson and
Larry.
Yeah, I think Adrian Peterson. He had played a terrible game against the.
That was
Seahawks.
One of the worst running back games I've ever seen. In my life.
That was pitiful. He was coming off 37 carries.
Very true.
And he was playing on Thursday night after that Sunday game of 37 carries. He's 32 years old, so expectations you have to temper for that game. I think Adrian Peterson is a guy that you can play in a favorable matchup, and I think this could turn out to be one of those games. So I don't really have any problem starting him as a flex. He's not an RB2. Larry Fitzgerald, I think I can rely on him unless Matt Barkley is throwing the ball. That's an unknown.
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. I got the Texans winning this one.
I have the Texans, yeah.
All right, Bills and Chargers. Bills trying to stay in the playoff hunt while the Chargers attempt to end their seemingly unlucky streak. They actually have lost 7 of 9 games by one score or less. Or less. That was dumb. One score or less. They won those 2 games.
1 score or 0 scores.
Or 0 scores.
They lost by 0 scores.
I was just saying. They're winning. They won those games. By negative scores.
Oh my gosh.
Phillip Rivers in the concussion protocol. We're gonna have to monitor that. If you listen to the last show, I think what the backups were Kellen Clemens and Cardell Jones.
Yeah.
Not a good situation if Phillip Rivers is out. Melvin Gordon's still the guy. Don't be blinded by Austin Eckler.
No, definitely not.
I think he'll get a few catches in the game. I don't expect what we saw last week by any means. Chargers pass catchers. They're honestly about as difficult to figure out as the Patriots running backs, in my opinion. It's just a cycle. We don't really know which one's going to break out.
Thing.
Even the tight ends, Hunter Henry, he's not reliable to start every week.
No, even just whenever you thought that he was going to be reliable, it's been 2 games and he's had 3 catches for 18 yards. Just when you thought Hunter Henry was an every week starter, it's just ugly.
It is. I don't have faith in Keenan Allen this game either.
No. Even if Phillip Rivers is fine and just good to go, like his concussion isn't a big deal, I'm not playing him against the Bills.
No, I don't like it. Are you starting any Bills outside of LaShawn McCoy?
I'm starting Kelvin Benjamin.
Still on that train?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I like Charles Clay more than Kelvin Benjamin.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean that's fine. That's a different position though. For wide receivers, I'm willing to start Kelvin Benjamin. They're coming off a terrible game against the Saints. Obviously, it was just a terrible matchup. But Kelvin Benjamin's first game playing as a Bill, he led the Bills in targets and yards. Now, before you jump out of your seat at that fact,
I'm already on the ceiling.
It was 6 targets for 42 yards, and that was the high for the team.
That's not terrible, though.
No,
I will say. It's for a first game.
For the first game, I think the fact that he led the team in targets really exemplifies that they want to use him. It was just a bad matchup, bad game script. Everything went wrong, and I don't expect that in this game.
Yeah. I will ask. Obviously, I still have faith in Tyrod. I don't want to let that 2-point game last week deter you.
There's so much Tyrod hate, and I can't stand that.
But I feel like the Bills are very, very close to switching to Nathan Peterman. I think it is coming at some point this year. And
this year? Really?
Yeah, I really do.
This season?
I think it's going to come. I think the Bills are going to. I think the Bills are going to lose here. I think they're going to lose at least 2 of their next 3 matchups, and they're going to say I've had enough, and it's going to be Peterman to go in. We even saw Peterman in this last game. Granted, they were down by a ton.
They were,
but
I just hate everything about that. Tyrod Taylor's not a bad quarterback. Who does he have to pass to? They've given him 0 weapons. He has a terrible offensive line. The only one on that team that can produce is LaShawn McCoy, and even he's been shut down because the team is so bad. I just hate that team is using Tyrod Taylor as a scapegoat and saying he's terrible. That's why we're doing awful.
I mean, he's not like. I mean, he's obviously not like outstanding. He's not like the Russell Wilson guy.
No, absolutely
but I mean,
you can't blame all of that offensive. The whole team's problem on one guy like Tyrod Taylor.
But I mean, I could probably name like 25 guys that I'd rather at quarterback position that I'd rather have than Tyrod. But
I don't think he'll be on the team next year. But I don't think that they're going to switch quarterbacks mid-season.
Well, we'll see. We've been saying, or we've heard talks about Tyrod being benched for a couple seasons now, and I don't know. Then he comes out and has a fantastic game. So maybe. I got the Chargers winning this one. In hopes that Phillip Rivers is starting.
Yeah, if Phillip Rivers is starting, I was going to go Chargers, but I actually don't expect Phillip Rivers to play, so that's why I was going with the Bills.
All right, Bengals and Broncos matchup between 2 teams struggling mightily as of recently. Tough matchup for the Bengals all around. AJ Green, you possibly benching him this week?
No. I don't think the Broncos defense is a defense that you can now say, I can't start any of my top options anymore. I don't think they're that kind of a defense. Solely because their offense can't stay on the field for more than 3 plays.
That's very true.
I just don't think that the offense isn't moving the ball. Trevor Siemian is...
Brock Osweiler.
Trevor Siemian is benched. Brock Osweiler is also garbage. They can't get their... I forgot his name.
Paxton Lynch.
They can't get Paxton Lynch healthy. So I don't think that's a matchup you can say I just can't play any of my star players. I would play AJ Green, but I would bench. I would bench the quarterback, Andy Dalton. I would bench Andy Dalton.
Andrew Dalton.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos they might be trying to go after one of those top quarterbacks in the draft next year, because obviously
I don't see why they wouldn't.
They're not winning anything this year.
No, Trevor Siemian is not their quarterback. Brock Osweiler is not their quarterback. Paxton Lynch, the only thing that we've seen from him is in preseason, and he was terrible. He lost the job to Trevor Siemian. So, I mean, their only option is to trade for one or get one in the draft.
Yeah. Sticking with the Bengals side of the ball, Joe Mixon, obviously no Jeremy Hill for the rest of the year. Joe Mixon should get plenty of work to be a fantasy relevant running back. Not the best matchup here.
No.
So I don't know. Just temper expectations. If you need to start him, I'm okay with it, but just temper expectations.
I'm not starting him. He had the touchdown this past week. He had 31 yards. I mean, he's just not doing a whole lot, and I just don't think that I'm not going to bank on him having his best game of the year against the Broncos.
Yeah, definitely. On the Broncos side of the ball, we mentioned Brock Osweiler still starting. Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas, they're still usable. They looked good last week. Emmanuel Sanders had over 130 yards.
Yeah.
Demaryius Thomas got in the end zone. So
yeah, if someone's going to catch a touchdown, it's obviously going to be Demaryius Thomas with Brock Osweiler.
Yeah.
Second straight game of the week.
Yeah, now the running backs, C.J. Anderson, he's still the guy. But game scripts have just not been kind to him. I think it could be better here. But still, it's just... I mean, they at the beginning of games, they use C.J. Anderson quite a bit. But by the time the game gets out of hand, C.J. Anderson's nowhere to be seen.
Right.
They just can't use him like that. So maybe if the game scripts go well, C.J. Anderson I still think is one of the better backs in football.
They need to have him involved in the game plan in a way that they haven't in the past 3 to 4 weeks. It's just been Brock Osweiler or Trevor Siemian just fumbling all over themselves and not being able to move the ball.
And what would you rather have, Brock Osweiler, or putting the ball in Brock Osweiler's hands, or actually giving C.J. Anderson the potential to get first downs?
Oh, yeah, C.J. Anderson for sure.
Yeah. All right, I got the Broncos winning this one.
Have the Bengals.
There we go. Patriots and Raiders. Patriots coming off a dominant performance, while the Raiders come off a much-needed bye. Derek Carr, he's pretty much a streamer at this point. Are you willing to stream him in this game?
Yeah, I could see it. The Patriots still don't have a fantastic defense. They're giving up a lot of points to quarterbacks. Derek Carr has been kind of up and down all over the year. He's been hurt. He's been not performing. But I think he has a pretty good game against the Patriots. I expect them to lose. Spoiler alert. But I feel like he's going to do enough to put up some decent fantasy points.
All right. Is Marshawn Lynch viable starting in this game? Patriots' run defense isn't great.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of an unknown to me.
I don't like starting him. But
no, that's the thing is this whole year I've been not wanting to start him, and just because it's a super favorable matchup doesn't mean I'm super excited.
Well, talking about game scripts, I think it's going to be very, very poor.
That's all. Yeah,
for Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah,
I think the Patriots get up pretty big.
So if I had to choose, I'd probably sit him.
All right, rank the Raiders pass catchers.
I would go at this point. This top two is just so flip-flop.
It's just, it's flip a coin, honestly.
I would go, this week, I would say Amari Cooper over Michael Crabtree.
All right.
And then below that, I wouldn't start any of them.
Jared Cook at tight end.
Well, okay, yeah, sorry. Jared Cook for counting tight ends.
Yeah, I said pass catchers.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I would go, I would say.
Jared Cook, honestly, he's getting a lot of looks. He could very well outscore Amari or Crabtree this week.
Yeah, and that's true.
Yeah, all right. Patriots side of the ball. Patriots could still be without Chris Hogan. Obviously, you're starting Brady. Brandon Cooks, I think, has a fantastic game here.
Yeah.
Rank the Patriots running backs. Once again, here you go.
Well, on the bright side, we're down to 3.
Yeah. We didn't mention that. Gillislee, if you haven't dropped him already, get him. Just kick him to the curb. He's done.
He is for sure done.
Yeah.
I actually like... What's the injury news on Rex Burkhead? He's good to go, right?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay, that's what I thought. I would go Rex Burkhead. I would go, after that, probably James White, and then Deion Lewis third.
See, I think I definitely have James White last. I think granted, every week it's just a wheel on whenever it lands on. I'd have James White last. Deion Lewis and Burkhead's really, really close to me.
Well, I can see James White being last because I have a lot higher expectations for Rex Burkhead, and I feel like they're kind of on the same level, like the same type of player.
See, I think I'd go Lewis, Burkhead, White.
Lewis over Burkhead?
Yeah.
I can see that.
In PPR, I'm all for Burkhead. Burkhead's easily my number one in PPR.
Yeah.
But I think Lewis, he's still the goal line guy. I think he's going to get a lot of work there.
Yeah, and that's true. You always got the goal line work, but I just think Burkhead has the potential to get a lot of big yardage plays. They know what they're doing. I mean, it's Bill Belichick's offense. He knows what he's doing. Like, I think that's part of his game plan is to keep his whole backfield like a complete mystery every week.
Yeah, I mean,
you just don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
and defenses can't prepare for it. But I like Rex Burkhead going forward. They signed him for a reason. They're going to use him, and he's been injured most of the year. So they haven't really. But you saw that first game when they started playing. I mean, he got a lot of work until he got injured. So I think they're going to use him, and they're just going to keep working him into the game script. And I like him the most out of any of them, and you can probably pick him up off waiver wires.
Yeah. All right. Want to do a bet here? Dion Lewis, Rex Burkhead?
Yeah, are we going to switch to the beer bet?
Yeah, okay, yeah. News to everybody, if you've listened to, we haven't made that many bets on the year. We've been calling them dollar bets. We made a few, and they were like, you know what? That's kind of boring. Just $1, that's not even
That's
fun.
not going to make or break anybody.
No, so we're going to change it. We're going to call it our beer bets. We got the beers going, obviously, now. We have the beer of the episodes pretty regularly. So these are going to be beer bets. So, what, you're taking Burkhead rest of the year?
Rest of the year, like starting this week,
Yes.
the most fantasy points.
Yes, standard.
In standard scoring,
Yes.
Rex Burkhead.
You have Burkhead?
Yep.
And I got Lewis.
Yep.
All right.
I like it.
Put it on the board.
Chalk it up.
You're going to owe me a beer. All right. Okay, wait. Are we the ones that we've already made dollar bets on, are we transferring them over to beer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good on you.
No one needs a dollar bet. That's not even worth it.
Nah.
I still have your $1 that you paid me the other week.
It's probably just lying around.
Because I don't use cash. No one uses cash.
You threw it in the trash because you got in the way.
Okay, I did not throw it in the trash.
Rich boy over here.
I did not throw it
All
in the trash.
last bit of thing with the Patriots. Sorry, we're kind of going slow these last couple matchups. Is it worth starting or rostering either one, Martellus Bennett or Dwayne Allen? No, not at all.
No.
All right.
Even if
not even rostering.
No.
It's tight ends.
That's my point. I mean, you're streaming tight. I would stream any tight end that's playing the Browns defense any given week,
or the Giants
over any of those players. Yeah, or the Giants because they give up the most points to tight ends. I just don't believe in rostering 2 tight ends. That's just my opinion.
That's a good point. I do. So I'm going to go on a tangent here for a second. I do want to. I forgot I even had him in the notes. But Martellus Bennett, I have never liked him ever as a player.
I was going to ask your opinion, but I didn't think we would have time. So I guess I'm going.
Well, I'll go. We'll go through the next 2 matchups quick. But I just got to get this off my chest. Like Martellus Bennett, I've never ever liked him as a player. He comes to the Packers this offseason. I was like, okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how he does. I mean, he was clearly the most vocal Packer we had in the offseason, and he was just brand new. He wasn't even close. No one else is vocal like he is.
Yeah.
And then he pulls his crap. Literally, Aaron Rodgers goes down. Martellus Bennett starts whining about an injury that apparently no one knew about.
Yeah. But he's saying that everyone knew about it.
He's saying that everyone knew about it. And then the worst part, the only reason he does it in the first place is to get out of Green Bay because he's just, just be a man and say I want out or I want to trade or cut me or something like that. You don't have to.
He's at the end of his career. He wants to.
I understand.
He wants to go out on top.
I understand that, but just
I can understand that mindset, but don't pull this crap.
Well,
don't do any of this.
The thing that made me piss me off the most was the fact that he dragged the Packers doctor, Dr. McKenzie, through the mud.
Yeah.
After all this,
Yeah.
and he literally he's just catching straight bullets for nothing.
Yep.
And even all the Packer players are coming to the rescue.
No one knew about it.
Not many Packer players are very vocal, especially on social media. Jordy Nelson started tweeting like crazy about
Honestly,
that.
I didn't know that Jordy Nelson had a Twitter until this week.
I followed him for quite a few years now.
Oh, I know you would.
He's tweeted maybe once a year, and it's always a charity benefit or his softball game. Yeah. But he tweeted about this. I've never seen him tweet mid-season ever.
No, that's very strange. Same with Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't tweet mid-season.
Well, he's changed that. He's been doing that quite a bit lately.
Oh.
But just Martellus Bennett, you're just showing how big of a douchebag you really are.
Yeah,
but
no, I don't like that at all.
Unfortunately, I have your team winning this week, so I got the Patriots.
Unfortunately, I also have.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, last two matchups we'll go through quick. Eagles and Cowboys, Sunday Night Football. Eagles look to possibly knock the Cowboys out of the playoff race, honestly.
Yep.
Tyron Smith may not play again this week. Eagles pass rush will tee off. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
Cowboys running backs, it's clearly Alfred Morris, Rod Smith, Darren McFadden. I don't want to start any of these. I'm dropping Darren McFadden.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough matchup against the Eagles. Alfred Morris was obviously the flashy waiver wire pickup a week ago, but it's not going to be good here.
In this matchup, I would normally have Alfred Morris over Rod Smith, but in this matchup, I actually like Rod Smith.
That's
more.
True. I like
because I
think
think
you said that.
I think the Eagles they're just too good.
They are going to roll over them. It's not going to be pretty.
The Cowboys will not have time to run.
I can't wait to see what Skip Bayless says after that game. It's going to be bad. It's just going to be Anyway. I'm honestly scared to start Dak and Dez. It's Ronald Darby could be back this week from a dislocated ankle, so Dez could be shut down. And if Tyron Smith doesn't play, Dak's not going to have time to throw.
No.
Carson Wentz, Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Ertz, great starts. Mm-hmm. Even if you're like the lower end pass catchers for the Eagles, even like Mac Hollins, if you're willing to roll him out there, I think that's okay in a deeper league. Now Jay Ajayi, he's the big question in the Eagles backfield.
Yep.
We saw him have a pretty good game, his debut. Over under 20 carries for Jay Ajayi this week.
Over. Typically I was leaning towards more like the 16 to 17 range, but for this matchup, I think that they're not going to have any problem handling the Cowboys, and I think that they're going to let him they're going to see what he can do and how he operates in that offense. Why not test him out?
Yeah, I think it's a big Jay Ajayi game. It's going to be fun to see what he can do. I got the Eagles. It's not close.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious I got the Eagles too.
All right, Falcons and Seahawks, Monday Night Football. Yet another important game for the playoff race.
It is.
Falcons likely to be without Devonta Freeman. Telvin Coleman, he's a top 10 running back any other week. I still have faith in him this week. I think he's going to be okay. Yeah. But the Seahawks, they're not kind of running back. So
no, he's not so involved in the passing game that I think he's still gonna put up a top 10 performance.
Yeah, top 10 though.
Yeah, can't think of 10 other running backs I would put in front of him.
Oh, we're gonna have to do another bet. But no, because I see them doing like a lot of stretch plays and passing out of the backfield. But if they're gonna want to win this game, they're gonna have to run up the middle at some point. Yeah, and I don't see that happening. All right, worry starting Julio Jones. No Richard Sherman, but Seahawks pass D is still pretty good. They signed Byron Maxwell back actually.
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
I mean he's no Richard Sherman. I don't think he's that great of a corner. But do you have any worry starting Julio Jones against the Seahawks?
No, they've lost their. Earl Thomas is still out, right?
He should be back this week.
He should be back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well. I'm still not worried. I mean,
it's not the best matchup, but I think Julio should be okay.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, I'm definitely not starting. However,
right. Yeah.
You're obviously starting Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin. I know Doug Baldwin's a little banged up with a groin injury. I think he'll be fine. Even Jimmy Graham, he's getting in the end zone quite a bit,
especially for tight ends. Definitely.
Yeah. Other pass catchers for the Seahawks, Paul Richardson, Tyler Lockett. Which one do you like more?
I'd say Paul Richardson. I'd take him over Tyler Lockett. There's not really a strong case for either one, I don't feel like. I thought about it.
I mean, Lockett's more the explosive downfield guy. Paul Richardson's more possession and touchdown guy. Yeah. So, pick your poison. I would agree. I like Paul Richardson more.
Yeah.
Thomas Rawls, worth trying to roll out again?
Well, their backfield just keeps getting decimated, and they still can't run the ball.
Yeah.
In dire situations.
In dire situations?
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, they're not relying on the running backs anymore, so it's not that big a deal for the Seahawks, which is why I still have the Seahawks winning.
I do have the Seahawks winning. I believe in Russell Wilson.
All right. Starts and sits of the week. Here we go. The bread and butter of the show. We're getting close on time, so we'll try not to make these, or try not to dabble in these too much.
Mine are so good, I won't even need to dabble.
Just list them. Everyone knows it. All right. QB, start of the week. Who you got?
I actually have Ryan Fitzpatrick versus the Dolphins. I will preface this by saying as a Buccaneers fan, I do not like Ryan Fitzpatrick. He will throw interceptions. He'll probably throw 2 picks. But the Dolphins' defense is even more atrocious than Ryan Fitzpatrick. I just don't think that they're going to be able to pull anything together this game.
I still think it's more of a Doug Martin game, but I think Ryan Fitzpatrick and Mike Evans do perfectly fine. Anyway, my start of the week, quarterback position, I'm going with Matthew Stafford, playing against Chicago. Yeah. I think Golden Tate has a pretty good game. I think Marvin Jones gets back on track. Eric Ebron's actually gotten the end zone as well. Brett Hundley even, I wouldn't say picked Chicago apart, but did perfectly fine against Chicago. So Matthew Stafford should have no problem. Running back start. Who you got?
LaShawn McCoy. I know he's been disturbingly disappointing to fantasy owners the past couple of weeks. He's playing the LA Chargers.
Yeah, them Clippers.
Can we just say how much I hate that their abbreviation is LAC?
We haven't made that mistake in a while.
It just kills me. It every time I see it, I say Los Angeles Clippers, and it's not right. It's not right. It's the Chargers. Okay. Anyways, LaShawn McCoy versus the Chargers. I don't think he's going to have a problem in this game. I like the Bills in this game. The Chargers are going to struggle, especially if Phillip Rivers is not playing. So don't be afeared to play LaShawn McCoy.
I'm going with JHI, playing the Cowboys. We talked about
him
just a few minutes ago. I think the Eagles are going to get up quite early and quite big. I think it's going to be a huge Jai game. They're going to really find out what they have in this guy.
Yep.
All right, wide receivers, start.
Marquise Lee is playing the Browns. The Browns have been pretty good against the outside wide receivers, but if they're going to pass the ball, I still think it's going to Marquise Lee.
All right, I'm going with Brandon Cooks, playing Oakland. Oakland has a terrible pass defense. They just put Gary and Conley, their rookie, on IR. He's going to be done for the year. So Brandon Cooks, I think, is going to have a fantastic game. One of his better games of the season. Again, we have that boom upside that Brandon Cooks brings. All right, tight end starts. I'm going with Travis Kelce. I mean, you're pretty much starting him anyway, but I have to say him because he's playing the Giants. Giants have given up about 10 straight games, touchdown to a tight end.
I'm going to go with Cameron Brate. Coming off a weird week.
Make a break.
He had 1 catch for 10 yards. That's definitely not the norm for Cameron Brate. But, again, preach the same story. They're playing the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are not a good defense.
All right, defense, start of the week. I'm going with the Jaguars playing the Browns. Enough said.
It's pretty. Yeah, that's been my kind of go.
Actually,
that's the first defense I look at every week.
Yeah, that's too easy. I'm gonna say the Eagles because I really do believe the Eagles are gonna completely dominate Dallas this week.
Yeah, I like that. Mine's a little more low flying. It's kind of an odd one. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals playing the Texans. I don't like the Texans going. I don't like Tom Savage going forward. I think that the Texans have a decent shot of winning this game, but I think Tom Savage is going to turn the ball over multiple times.
I think the Cardinals and Texans defenses are both kind of sneaky plays this week. It should be low scoring.
Yeah.
All right, sits at the QB position. We got to go quick.
Phillip Rivers versus the Bills. Even if you got to monitor the
concussion,
injury, but even if he plays, sit him.
Yeah, I'm going Dak Prescott against Philly.
Yeah,
I keep saying it. Don't start your Cowboys this week.
Nope.
Running backs. Who you sitting?
The entire Cowboys backfield versus the Eagles.
There you go. I'm sitting Isaiah Crowell. We've seen him do pretty well recently, the past couple weeks. But he's playing the Jags this week. Their run defense has definitely gotten a boost with Marcel Darius back there.
Yep.
Wide receiver sits of the week. I'm going with A.J. Green playing the Broncos. I know we talked about him earlier. You said you'd still roll him out there. I don't really have faith in Andy Dalton. I still think the Broncos cornerbacks are shut down, and they're going to stop A.J. Green this week.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to stick on the same game, same side of the ball. I'm going to go Brandon LaFell coming off a huge week. I know that's going to be that's a hot topic. I've read a lot of articles about this. I don't like Brandon LaFell in this game against Denver. He's been okay. He had a breakout game, but I think we're definitely due for some regression going into week 10.
All right, tight end sit.
11, sorry.
11, yeah. I didn't catch it. Tight end sit, who you got?
Hunter Henry, like we said, 3 catches for 18 yards in the past 2 games. No one knows when he's going to be good.
I'm going Austin Hooper playing Seattle. He had the big game last week. Don't expect it again.
Yeah.
Sits defense.
Surprisingly, and this is kind of a weird one because I've been starting this defense multiple weeks. The Vikings defense, great defense, but they're playing the Rams, and I expect the Rams to score a lot of points. I don't know who's going to win the game. I expect the Rams to.
I can't wait for that game. I don't know what's going to happen, but
I have no idea what's going to happen. But I expect a lot of points to be scored, so that means low points for the Vikings, even if they get turnovers.
Yeah, I kind of struggle in this one. I couldn't really think of a good one, but I'm just the Raiders. Raiders defense, set the Raiders. They're playing the Patriots.
Okay,
cool.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, that's going to be all for today. We got really close on time. I'm trying to close it up as fast as I can. So, yeah, thanks for listening. Hopefully we'll have our starts and sits actually on Twitter and Facebook this week. I should have that. We'll get the waiver wire ads on there sometime on, or I guess you listen to this on Thursday. So we should have those up already. Don't forget to check out our previous show, our Week 10 recap. And we'll be back on Friday to maybe with Kevin. I don't know. Haven't heard from him yet. On Friday for our League of Records show. So that's going to be all for today. Again, great beer from Shiner.
Shiner Holiday Cheers.
Oh my
getting it done every
gosh,
week.
it's so good.
MVP so far.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the 423 Football. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Give us a like and leave your comments, reviews, and questions. We'd love to get some questions in on the show. So thanks for listening. We are the 423 Football Podcast.
Peace out.